Greetings, everybody, once again. I hope that you're doing well. Discussion tonight. So, if you're just tuning in to the show tonight, first of all, I want to say greetings to everyone. I hope that you're safe wherever you're at. I hope that, this about one who doesn't mind standing up for justice. We're talking about as you join me tonight. I hope all is well with you and your family. And if you want to post your comments, you're certain. And out of this chaos, out of all what's going on right now, I don't see where the ministers are coming out of the woodworks and begin to really talk about the injustice that has been going on for a very, very long time. Now, granted, there may be some who's a little bashful and they may write a letter here or there, but I'm talking about coming on and saying what you have to say and mean what you mean. Now, I say that to say this. Some brothers of the craft may believe that Masonry or individuals who are in Freemasons shouldn't talk about politics and issues. Well, you got me twisted. I'm not that one. I'm cut from something totally different than you are. I was taught differently in my jurisdiction as far as being involved. I was told that Freemasons should come your all. I guarantee you. So don't tell me doing this. Masons should be talking about religion. Well, isn't it true that when you come into the organization itself, it's a supreme being? So don't talk to me about what we're not supposed to be talking about, and we do it all the time. So just here recently, I was sent a letter in regards to grand. Know that you put a seal on a letter. The letter means nothing. Without the sign and seal of a grandmaster on a letter, it means nothing. So your letter that you wrote condemning what was happening in Alabama and protesting and the killing of George Floyd, that means nothing. Your seal is not on that letter. Your signature is not on that letter. It means nothing. And I'm telling you, this is from a Prince Hall Grandmaster, so you can call me and tell me whatever you want to say. That letter means nothing. It can be withdrawn. He can say, I didn't even type that letter up. It means nothing to me. So let's have this conversation tonight. I mean, I've seen brothers in the original versus the irregular Grand Lodge. I mean, original, let me see, it's the original versus the irregular. You members who are on that Facebook page, you will come together and have 500 say-sos about who's clandestine and who's regular. But you're just quiet on this issue. You don't say not one word on this issue. Where you at? Why are you so quiet? I'm talking to the real Masons. That's who I'm talking to. I want to talk to the real. I want to talk to some Masons that got some heart, that don't mind having a real conversation about some real life issues that affect us. See, international, modern free, ancient free and accepted, PHO, PHA, all of our men, every last one of them look like me. Every last one of them. Yeah, there's a few brothers who are of the Caucasian persuasion that are in the various jurisdictions, but the majority of the Grand Lodges and jurisdictions I just called out are predominantly black. If you have a building, a Masonic hall, in a black community, and that building gets graffiti on it, and it has a Masonic emblem on that building, you ain't doing your job. You can say whatever you want to say. If you have a Masonic building in a black community, and that building gets graffiti on it, I mean, it's, they come and jack it up. That means to tell me them people don't know who you are in that community. You're not viable for that community. So they don't give a damn about your building. Because you're not seen, you're not doing anything. And this is what's happening in a lot of the communities that I've seen. I got pictures. I've seen pictures. So I want to talk to the real Freemasons. See, George Washington was a Mason, right? And he was considered the first president, which we all know that he wasn't. But however, he was president, right? Politics. Somebody need to talk to me. Let's talk about Gerald Ford, right? Vice president became president, right? Third degree Mason, if I'm not mistaken, correct? Ronald Reagan, even though he probably wasn't initiated, he was given the honorary degree of a 33rd ancient scepter Scottish Rite Mason. That's a fact. So don't tell me once again about Masonry and politics and religion. Because it's all there. You want to put up this facade like if you don't talk about it. No, it's there, brothers. It's there happening in their jurisdiction. Have you read your degrees lately on the Scottish Rite side? And it talks about justice and getting to know God and how you should be one with God. Have you not read that anywhere in your Scottish Rite degree work? Well, I have. Just the other night, if you go back and watch my last video, I went through a few degrees that breaks it down to you. Tells you exactly what the degrees are. But you don't want to talk about it. So you sit in these groups, you go back and forth about who's this and who's that, but you don't have the balls enough. So your balls don't hang down. They go up into your belly. So you don't have the balls enough to really talk about some real discussion, things that affect your community. It's ironic that we as Black Masons can call each other out and call each other names about the various jurisdictions for which we abidely get our degree work in and all of that. We can talk about all of that all day, but this issue right here, you quiet. PHO, Grandmasters, you quiet. You ain't said a word. You ain't issued a statement. And if you have, I owe you a sincere apology if you have. But as far as I know, you quiet. PHA, you quiet. International, Modern Free, you quiet. A lot of the John G. Jones Grand Lodges are quiet. Why y'all quiet? What y'all afraid of? I'm just asking. I want to talk to the real Masons tonight. I want to know why y'all quiet. Why you sitting down like, well, what am I to do? You're an individual. First and foremost. Okay, that something is about, man, look, I'm not just sitting down talking and not being actively involved. That's a fact. Where's the NAACP in all of this? Now, I'm a card carrying member of the NAACP here and say, come on now, somebody got to talk to me tonight because I'm seeing some things that are happening that's making me shake my head. And these things that are happening in these cities, like they happening, this is a coordinated effort. There are blacks, whites, Filipinos, whatever you want to, all sorts of people are bringing people into other 10,000, 50,000 members. Quiet. You got lawyers. Time has to be talked about. So you comfortable. You feel like you somebody because somebody says that you are recognized. So you comfortable. So you feel like you have arrived. So-called recognize that. So I want to talk to kids about aiding those who are going to need help and aid, those who are on the front line, those who are putting themselves in a position to be arrested. How are we going to assist? And you behind the keyboard calling these people different names, and that's all you're about. But you're not about a coordinated effort to bring together the brotherhood. You're not about that life. And if you was about that life, you would speak up, but you don't have the balls to speak up. They don't hang low enough. They're too high up. I'm just saying. Yeah, I'm passionate. I am. I'm passionate. I know what the brother said in the wine and stairs. I know what the brother posted in the group, and they took it down. That was a PHA brother in the wine and stairs group. I said this the other night. He posted something in the group. And they snatched it down. They kicked him out the group. Oh, but he recognized. He's accepted. I'm just saying. Here's what I know. All of those predominant African American Grand Lodges, the membership looks like us. Go to church with us, play ball with our kids, go to school with our kids. And here we are. You mean to tell me we can't coordinate an effort to work together in this is the time we should. This is that moment in history where if you really want to see the works of what we're really all about, helping to make good men better, as you say, that's that time. That's that moment. But you can't do it because you're too afraid. I can't talk to you. Kindestein, I can't do that. I can't work with you. What type of bull is that? When this moment is calling us to be the men we claim to be Thurgood Marshall. This moment is calling you to do that, but you're too afraid. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm missing something. But if I'm wrong, somebody needs to call me. Hey, Brother Hawkins, you know what, man? You know, you're a little hard. Maybe, this is what we're doing here, and this is what we're doing there. But you don't have the balls enough to do that. See, look, if an organization doesn't stand by you in this, look, PHA, no, I'm not going to say PHA, and I'm not going to say PHO. Colored Masons. You're supposed to have one of the oldest organizations around, period. Effectively working within the community, helping, doing things so people can understand who you are and what you're all about in your community. That is what we're supposed to be all about. But you're not about that life. You're about showboating. You're about having a good party. Let's go out. Let's turn up. You're about them Shriners things. Let's go do the Shriners, the camel walk. You're about that life. See, now it's real. Now it's real. And your grandmaster don't have the balls to stand up. It's real now. See, you don't have the balls to call nobody out. See, I'm cut from a different little thing. My grandmaster's a little different. You know, he's a little different. Now, he pulls my coattails sometimes. Tells me to back up. But he's a little different. See, I'm gonna tell you something about my grandmaster. My grandmaster father was an original member of the Panthers. My grandmaster's older than me, so he sets me down a lot of time and just breaks some stuff down to me. So I can't say, I mean, when I look at what's happening around me and where I'm at, I have to understand what can I do to affect this situation for a better cause, for a greater cause. I have to be involved. I cannot sit on the sideline and see this thing play out and not get in. This is the time to get in. If there was ever a time to get in, this is it. This is that time for us to coordinate our efforts together, to pull our rear to go on the front lines. It's okay. It's really all right. But this is that time and moment when you just got to do it, brothers. You know, I don't know what to say, but I do know this. I've been in some groups, and you could talk about who's clandestine and who's regular all day long. You get 500 posts. I've been in the same group. I ain't heard a bird dropping. I ain't heard a cat move. I ain't heard a rat piss on cotton. It's quiet. Somebody tell me, help me to understand. Because I'm trying to understand why you so quiet. Where your grandmaster's at? Somebody said, well, where's your grandmaster at? Well, I had a meeting with mine yesterday. I know what he's about to do. I know what I'm doing here, and I can share with you the fact that we are involved in the community efforts. I can say that as a jurisdiction. I can say that. Can you say that your jurisdictions is actually involved in the situation? You got boots on the ground. See, your building in your community that got vandalized in Alabama should have never happened. Your brothers should have been out there saying, look, this ain't that building. It ain't that building. But it got vandalized. You need to rethink that. Why is your building in a community, predominantly African American community, getting vandalized by the people that live in the community? The ones you're supposed to be serving, the one that's supposed to know what you're all about. They knocking on your door to become a good man, become a better man, although they're good men. You're the example in the community. The hard workers, the ones that go to the 9 to 5 jobs, the 3 to 11 job, the 7 to 3 job. You're that person that they're looking up to be like, dressing in your black suit on a Friday or a Saturday or through the weeknight meeting with a black bow tie. You that guy, see? They looking to be like you. They want to know why you dressing up to go to a meeting. What's so important about that meeting that has you dressing up to look like somebody? See? When the community sees that and they know that you're there, they ain't gonna mess with you. They're gonna say, no, I know him. No, I saw him. I look. He was here last week when we was being fed. That building over there belongs to them. See, they feed us out of that building. Don't you touch that building. But no, we're gonna vandalize this one. Something ain't right. Where are the real Masons? Where are the real Grandmasters? You know what? I'm gonna say this. There was a couple of Grandmasters that made a post. And one in particular is Grandmaster Bowtie. That's what I call him. Out of Florida. You may have heard of him. I call him Grandmaster Bowtie. But he went live and went in. See, he wasn't as passionate as I am, but you know what he had to say was, it was for 18 minutes he was on fire. I know that. He touched me. I know some people are watching this saying, dang, really, brother? We're not supposed to be like that. No, it's time out. That game is over. See, now you either stand up and be counted as one who's on the side of justice and order and want things to be as they should be, or you just going to sit on the sideline and say, nah, can't get in that fight. No, I can't say nothing. Are you that person? I just need to know. Because it's going, when it boils down to it, I don't need to be standing beside you. Not for this one. Not for this one. So this is where we at right now. Like I said, for the 4th time, I've been inside some of your groups. And you could talk about this and that for eons. But right now, you are quiet like a rat pissing on cotton. You ain't said not one word. Not one word. Yeah, I got some receipts too. Let's have a read about what's been happening in some of these different groups. And I'm going to call the group name for you, okay? Let's see what's been happening. So I would say this. I'm gonna say this. So, just so you know, this is what a brother posted. This brother posted in the Wine and Stairs group. He says, how many of your Grand Lodges spoke out against the killing of George Floyd? Hold on. How many of your Grand Lodges spoke? Yes, spoke against. Yeah, that sparked this protest. You can't. I'm just trying to get a grip on it, And every time a brother posts something positive in the Prince Hall connection, y'all kick him out. I want to understand that too. I need to understand, why do you treat your brothers that way? Why you do that? When they want to post something that's happening in the community, you go in. And then you're going to say this here, LaTroy Irvin. I call you out, LaTroy. How you gonna kick somebody out of the group, man? Me and you buddies on Facebook, but you gonna kick other people out of the group if you find out that they're friends with me on Facebook. Yeah, figure that out. And you've even called into the show a couple of times. Well, I'm looking for somebody to call in now and have a real conversation. Where's the brotherhood at? That's what I need to know. Where is it at? I'm talking about Modern Free International, PHO, PHA, the John G. Jones Brotherhood. Where are we at? I can only say what's happening here in this state, this city. I can say that because I know what took place last night. But I need to hear from you. You know? And the reason I say that is because this is that time we really need to have a real heartfelt conversation, because this has long been affecting our community, but we got our heads stuck in the damn sand. This is where we need to have a coordinated effort amongst the brotherhood to set aside some differences and and work for the betterment of our community. Some real solutions. This is the real solution. But you don't want to do that. You're too afraid to step out. A lot of you are. You'll roll up on me in a minute. But you don't have the heart to really step out. I'm just asking. Inquiring minds wants to know. I'm not going to hold you long all night. I'm not. But here's the number. If you want to call in, you can dial me. 619-985-1184. You can give me that call. I'll take that call if you want to call in. Ain't none between us but a phone call. So make the phone call. Don't be afraid. Nobody gonna bite you. Nobody at all. I just need to know, do you have the balls enough to stand up for that which is right? You know? We can pounce on everything else, but can we pounce on this? Can we get with this? That's what I want to know. Can we get with this? Hold on just a second. I'm trying to get this done right here. Because this right now ain't nothing to play with. I think a lot of us are just too afraid. Just afraid. So I'm asking, where the real Masons at? Why can't we coordinate and take out those who are on the front line? It's not hard to do. It's not hard for us to come together and to do that. If you don't want to be on the front line, trust me on that. Police have been caught, and you know it. So we know that there are agitators out there. The process is that there are legitimate people out there who are on the front line, who's really upset about what's been taking place, and they tired. But our major groups, our major organizations, like taking a back seat. You don't want to say nothing. How could they? Yeah, you can sit in your house, aid and assist. Charity. I mean, that's something we're supposed to be Masons.
What's going on, brother?
Oh, I want to talk to some real Masons tonight, but it's real quiet. That's all I'm saying. It's real quiet. I mean, like I said, I don't know what's happening with all the jurisdictions. I've seen a couple of grandmasters speak out. I've talked to some on the phone. But I'm saying the coordinated effort that we can have in our own community to affect the cause. I want to talk to some real Masons. I want to talk to those who claim that they got 13, 14,000 members in their jurisdictions. Because they're supposed to be the biggest and the baddest. I don't have to call no name. I want to talk to the PHO, the PHA. I want to talk to the Modern Free, the International. I want to talk to them.
Truth is, man, some people, and I'm going to say people, they talk, but when it comes time to walk the walk, they know where to be found. And I'm not going to say everybody's like that, because that's not true. Some of them are, some of them aren't. But at this point, you know, if this, what's happening now, doesn't bring people of color. I mean, we could put the craft, put masonry. That's secondary to this, to this, because my grandson is not a mason, but my grandson is black. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know exactly what you mean.
So, and I have that worry.
Uh huh.
You know what I mean? Even though my grandson, at the time, his grandson is 16, and you know, he's a target. He's a target simply because of the color of his skin. Now, you could say something like, go on the other side of the track to other ethnicities. They don't have to worry about if they're going to shoot me. Am I going to be the next target? Am I going to? We have that, even though you know you haven't done anything wrong.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh, I know exactly what you mean. Most of us know exactly what you mean, but the problem is most of us don't say anything.
It's a difference between knowing and standing up against. You know, my grandfather used to always say this: I would rather die on my feet than live on my knees. And a lot of us, for real, I'm gonna call it just like it is. A lot of us are poor ass excuses for black men, for men, period. We talk that bullshit, excuse my language, but when it comes time to standing up, we won't do it. They'll get on the internet, they'll be behind their keyboards, gang song with you or me or another brother that they consider themselves more superior than. Oh, they talk that shit to us all day long. Clandy. But this is something that you need to get your regular ass behind. Where you at?
Well, that's the where you at? And that's the question I'm asking all of us. Where we at? I mean, because if this is not shots have been always fired. Look, let's just to me, this was a shot fired. There's always been a shot fired. But this shot right here,
shook the world. The world saw it.
Yeah, the world saw this one. And this is not the only one that the world has saw. This is not the only one that the world has seen. However, this one was gross. This one got up under a lot of people's skin. This one, like the others, this one touched somebody. Okay? And I'm not saying that the other ones didn't. I'm not saying that one. But there comes a time where it said this one was the straw that broke the camel's back. Maybe this one was. I don't know. And that's the thing.
You know what? I'm gonna say like this, and I'm speaking to myself. PHA, I'm gonna call it out. PHA, PHO, modern, free, international. No matter what you say you are, Elks, Buffalo Soldiers, whoever you are. If you are moving behind this cause, I'm behind you. Straight like that.
Straight like that.
Straight like that. I don't care who it is. You're moving behind this cause because, as I always say, and I'll say it again, Masonry, I love it, but it comes secondary to this. This is bigger. This is a whole lot bigger than just Masonry and being Mason. This goes beyond that. You know what I mean? This goes beyond that.
And this
could have been my brother. That could have been my son.
Hey, now the part that when you said that could have been your brother, Let's look at this from a Masonic point of view. What if it was a Masonic brother? He was on hard times. Let's just throw a scenario out there. This is not true. This is a scenario. What if it was a Masonic brother who was just on hard time, who had a bad dollar bill and he wanted to pass it on? If that was the case, what do you do with that? You knew him before he fell on hard times. You knew that was a good brother, but he fell on hard times. He fell out. Nobody really knew where he was. But when you saw his face on television, telling me I can't breathe. When you saw his face on television calling out for his mom, when you saw his face on television bleeding from his nose and mouth, when you saw his face on television being squashed into cement,
Brother,
come on,
brother,
man.
you and I both work in the medical field. We both work in the medical field. We know a dying body or a dying individual when we see one.
Absolutely.
We know that the body releases fluids. You know what I mean? We know that the body releases fluids. That man was dying as he was talking. But you had those ignorant-minded individuals. Well, he's still talking. How can he talk if he can't breathe?
Look.
He say he can't breathe, but it's not the point that he couldn't breathe. The point was he was having difficulty breathing.
Absolutely.
That's a chokehold, man. That's almost in martial arts. Every martial artist knows that. That's a knockout zone. It's a knockout zone. What do you think you do when you put a person in a sleeper hold? You cut the oxygen off to the brain.
And look, let's just be real with it as we continue to talk to real Masons tonight. There are a lot of Masons that I know that work in the medical, physician assistant, but I know some of them. And we'll have this conversation, just like you and I are having it. And some refuse to even talk about it. Okay? They don't want to discuss it. I understand that, at your job, you really shouldn't be talking about certain things because some people feel a certain way. Got you. But them 30 minutes that I got, I can talk to anybody about anything on 30 minutes.
Brother, these are real life issues. This ain't nothing new. It's nothing new. It's new to some people, but you know what? As they say, and I just seen this afternoon when I rode by the local college on my way to work.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're protesting at the college. These college kids, and white young lady had a sign up. And I read the sign and it said, "Your silence is an invitation to violence."
Absolutely.
We see these things that's going on, but we don't talk about even in our own communities. We see a lot of things in our own communities that we don't address. You know what I mean? We just look at it and brush it up under or keep on moving. You know what I mean? And the reason why that happens in most cases is because we have a lack. We have this lack of connection with the communities that we're in. We don't care. I'm speaking about the average person in the community. Don't care what goes on at Mr. Bob's house. They don't care what happens to Mr. Bob's son until the same thing that happens to Mr. Bob's son come knocking at their door. Now they want everybody else to feel empathy and sympathy for them. Well, you didn't feel no empathy or sympathy for Mr. Bob when Mr. Bob's son went through what your son just went through. Now it's a problem. We don't deal with shit until it hit home. We can't relate to things until it hit home. We keep on moving. We sit on our soapboxes, and then we got the individuals in the hood that sits under the shade tree every day with their 40s in their hand, see everything, but don't get. And there's a lot of individuals that's running around that's wearing that compass to square that's worse. They see what's going on but won't address it. But they can get on the internet and call you all kinds of names, call me all kinds of names, call other individuals all types of names because of we're not in the same affiliation. But you got the same damn skin that I got.
Go ahead, tell
You
that.
understand? We was in a car together, and that car gets pulled over. If something goes sideways, do you think anybody gonna stop saying you a regular bitch? I'm gonna beat this, put these regular handcuffs on you, just like I'm gonna beat the drivers, clammy ass, and put these clammy handcuffs on him. Nah, they're gonna whoop your behind just like they're gonna whoop mine. Or we gonna stand there and we gonna swing together, or we gonna go there.
Well,
But they're not gonna ask.
go ahead.
They're not gonna ask those type of things. That shit only applies to the lodges, man.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care. The average person out here on the street. You got your suit. You got your widow's gear on. I got my widow's suit on.
But see, right here, this is the conversation. In my opinion, I want to use this platform here, not just to talk about who's regular, who's irregular, slander in it. I bring that up to bring up the point that we're in the same boat.
Yeah, we're in the same boat, and you know what? The crazy thing about that is we're in the same damn sinking ship. The ship's sinking, but we're bickering about everything else and not paying attention to the damn shit go down.
That's what I'm talking about right there. That's what I'm talking about right there.
What can we do? What can we do about
this? In this, the coordinated effort we need, the solution we need is for those who call themselves Grand Masters, and you have been elected by your jurisdiction to represent, to be that head figure, to be the example of a real Mason. You've been elected to do that. Wishful Masters, you've been elected to do that. Junior Wardens, Senior Wardens, you have been elected to be the example of a real Mason. But your Grand Master is silent. I mean, I don't know.
I'm going to go beyond that. I'm going to say that, look, I understand how you feel about me as a Mason. You understand how I feel about you as a Mason. This is bigger than Masonry. Can we put that to the side for right now, and can we work together as men? If we can't work together as Masons, let's work together as men. We got to do something.
Coordinated efforts. I mean, it's not rocket science. We know what we have to do, but most of us are afraid to call the next brother. We are. I've gone to brothers and asked them before this even happened. Hey, can we do this? You know I've called you up. You know I've asked you. You didn't call me back, nor did you say anything else about it. So, I mean, hey, that's on them. This is why it's important to be actively involved. Say what?
It happened, but you know what? I said it happened. Yes, that's happened with me before. Where I've extended a hand out to somebody, let's do this, let's do that. We see what's going on in our neighborhood. You got the same goal that I got. If we can't do it, well, it's not even the point of me asking you to do it as a Mason or as a member of your lodge. It's beyond that. Can we get together and do this as men? Can we get together and do this as men? Look, we got people and individuals that's suffering in our communities. That's suffering. They don't know the difference.
They sure don't.
They don't know the difference. What the hell does me respecting you and you having respect for me as a man got to do with anything? I mean, somewhere along the line, I always thought that I've read something about having tolerance. Having tolerance.
So, I'm gonna tell you this. One brother told me, I just seen a post. The brother Alex Fitzgerald said, Brother Hawkins, put Freemasonry to the side. We need a national leader right now. We all have the capacity to be a leader. Period. The reason The reason I have the Freemasonry part in this, which I'm calling this the Real Freemasons, is because if you look at history of this country, if you look at history of those African American leaders that was in leadership, most of them was Masons. So I can't set it aside. That's just part of what it is. The gentleman who led the revolution for Mexico was a Mason. So when you say, well, just set it aside, no, you just can't set it aside. It's part of who you are. When you take that obligation, it becomes part of who you are. That's my opinion. That's 32 years in this organization. What, 33 years in this organization. I've earned that right to say, look, I've seen people in leadership that are Masonic brothers. So I take that now, and a lot of people look at them as the example. So no, I'm not just going to set it aside. I'm scared to put our efforts together. We are. We're afraid of each other. Come on.
We're afraid to deal with each other. I ain't going to say we're afraid of each other. I think we're afraid to deal with each other. You know what? It was a post that was posted the other day. I can't remember exactly what the post was what it said. But I remember my response to that post. My response was, there will not be a lot of comments on this post because this post will cause people to face their own realities.
Oh, you talking about the one you posted in the group?
This post is it will cause a lot of people to face their own reality. And the reality beyond it all is, and this is not a black and white matter. This is I'm not making it a revolution. The problem is when a man steps up and say, you know what, I'm not a racist individual. I just got a strong love for my people. That's often misconstrued.
Right.
It's often misconstrued. Because I have a love for my people, that don't make me a racist. I just love my people. And when I speak a lot of times, I'm directing my energy and my conversation to my people. Ain't nobody gonna come in our communities, man, and rescue us. We got to do this for ourselves.
That's the answer. That's just part of the answer. As a matter of fact, we do have to do this for ourselves. No, Dr. Ben said the black man has no friend. That's a strong statement. You may have allies, but you have no friend. Nobody's coming to save you. No church, nobody is coming to save you.
Everything you just said, and you think about this, and I want the listeners that's viewing to think about this. Don't think of it as coming from Debo Taylor. Hell, just think of it as something that's coming your way for you to listen to. Think about this. The nail salons in our communities are owned by the Chinese. The hair salons are owned by the Chinese. The stores, the corner stores are owned by the Arabs. The gas stations are owned by the West Indians or the Indians and the Arabs. Everything that's in our community is not owned by the people of the community. They are taking, sucking the life force out of the community at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, whatever time it is, when they close their stores or they close their place of business, they go to another neighborhood, to another community, somewhere else, and take that money with them.
Of course.
Resources is going with them. Our dollars, our hard-earned dollars, does not circulate in our communities long enough for it to make an impact on anything. Because as soon as we get it, we go liquor stores, cigarettes, whatever your vice is.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, bro.
No, I was gonna say.
Whatever your vice is.
Go ahead. Go.
We spending this money, and they're taking this money out of the community, but they never give nothing back to the community. They suck from it, and never give anything back. What are we
Just like a
It's a
tick.
parasite.
Just like a tick, and they call a tick a politic. All he does is suck, suck, suck. But
Is it a politic or a politrick?
oh yeah, for sure. Now check this out. Now we've had the discussion. We've talked about issues. Solutions is what we need. Somebody said we need a national leader.
We need each other. That's what we need. We need each other. We need the support of each other, regardless of where we come from, regardless of what we've done in life, regardless of what we do in life. We need each other. We need each other, man. We're we, and when I say we, I mean people of color. We're the only ones that don't support each other. We don't support each other, man.
I'm going to agree, Brother Debo. I'm going to agree to disagree because some of us, I ain't saying all, I can't put us all in that cream right there. Really go out of our way to support each other. And then some of us get hurt when we do. But I do understand what you're saying.
I don't want it to be misunderstood what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Some of us do it, but not enough of us do it.
Right.
Like, for example, we have a mom and pop store that's been in the community, that's owned by people of color, that's been there for 25, 35 years. Now that the grocery stores has moved in, we don't support that mom and pop store like we used to. Now we forget when we fall or fell on hard times that we can go to Mr. Ed's store and say to Mr. Ed, this month I fell short, and can I set up a line of credit with you? Usually the mom and pop stores knows everybody in the community, so they be like, okay, yeah, we'll set you up a little bit of credit. You know what I mean? Okay.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're saying. Absolutely.
We're running them for the credit. But we'll end up going to the grocery store, the big grocery stores. When we got a little bit of extra change, we go to the big grocery store. Oh, we're going to do some shopping now. What happened to shopping at Mr. Ed's store?
I would say this. I would say this. What if the solution? What if we took an effort to reach out to each other and coordinate in the various states and jurisdictions to really solidify the movement as we see it happening before our very eyes? What is that going to do for us to step out of our shadows, to get out of our own way, to go and to help coordinate, to go and to solicit, to help, to do whatever it takes to see things, to see a real change? Because look, I'm a little older now. I've seen some things in life, and I'm seeing the same things I've seen for a very long time, like on a bad movie. So all I'm saying is let's take those things that we know that we have in common and build on them. Like you said earlier, ain't nobody coming to save us. Nobody. If I can invite you to a party, a step show, a Shriners dinner, if I can invite you to all of that, invite you now to the table, efforts to do right by our communities and by each other. If I can invite you out to drink, I should be able to invite you out to do this.
But you'll end up hearing, well, we're not a community service organization. You'll hear that. We're not a community service organization. Well, here's where my questions come in when I hear that. Well, we're not a community service organization or community-based organization. Why you got a 501c3 or tax status? Number two, where do you draw your membership from? Don't you draw your membership from the community? Number three,
the same community.
When we have these fundraisers and things like that, who do we sell the tickets to? The people of the community. We take from the community, but often don't want to give back because we're not a community service organization. There are other organizations that you can be a part of that don't have anything to do with Masonry, that you could do all of that stuff in. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking
Absolutely. I'm
That's what
talking
I'm
about
talking
us.
about. Of course, I can go and be an elf if I choose to do that, but that's not what I chose to do.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I chose to do. Now, you can, the next individual can say anything that they want to say to me because I'm not a member of their jurisdiction. I'm a non-Prince Hall Mason. And every chance that some individuals get, and I'm not putting them all in one basket. I would never do that because that's not the proper thing to do. But there are those who, every chance they get, this is what they're going to throw in my face with regularity and recognized, and they'll throw it in your face. But what is recognition and regularity? What has it gotten you?
So I'm going to answer a
That's
question
the
real
only
quick.
thing.
I'm going to answer a question. It says, this brother put here, the brother Scott, he called himself the traveling man. You know him on, you know him out of the original versus the regular versus irregular. He says, there is nothing stopping black people from starting those businesses, so we can't get mad at those who choose to start those businesses. Now, look, I'm going to say
That
this.
doesn't even sound right.
I'm gonna say this. We all know how they treat us when we come into the banks for loans. Look, I know my credit score. I know what I'm capable of purchasing and buying. I know that, and I'm okay with that. It could be in the 800s, but I'll take what I got against anybody else. And I know I've gone into the bank, and I know I got money in that bank, and they still has denied me a loan. And I'm like, look, what I gotta do? A 900? I know I can afford this. So when you tell me about people can do the same thing, come on, bruh. We know how this system is real. You know, now granted.
Anybody can say that. Anybody can say that, but the reality. See, some of us, brothers, the truth is, and the honest, cold, hard truth is, a lot of us are not living in the same reality, man. We're not living in the same reality.
Right, right.
So I mean, that's an issue. That's a known issue. Hell, we've seen that by even bankers has come out and said, loan officers has come out and said it. It's harder for a person of color to get a loan than it is for anybody else.
Well, that's true. And I'm keep reading these things about a leader, a leader. If you want to know what a leader look like, and you got the balls,
Look at the damn mirror.
look in the mirror.
Look at the mirror.
Absolutely. Stop waiting on somebody to come save you and stop talking about a national leader. Look in the mirror. Step out. If you want to know what leadership look like, why don't you step out? That's what I was
All
told.
you gotta do is ask them a simple question. A simple question. If you keep talking about leadership, or if the conversation of leadership keeps coming up, national leader, this leader, that, and like you just said, look, we're looking for a leader. Look in the mirror. Don't you lead your household? Aren't you the man in your household? I hope you are. I hope you're leading your household. If you're a father, you have children, are you not leading your children? Question is, where you lead them to? How
Absolutely.
are you leading them?
You know what?
You know, each one of us are leaders. We got people in our neighborhoods and people in our communities, no matter what you have done in life. There are people that look at you and watch you and follow you.
That is true.
Followers on Facebook.
That is true. That is true.
No, regardless. It's regardless. If we take these principles that we say that we hold so close in Masonry and we apply them to our lives, our everyday lives, I don't have to run around and tell everybody. I don't have to wear all that regalia. I don't have to wear the shirts and the hats, the emblems and the rings and the watches. I don't have to wear that. But if we're applying these principles
gonna say this
If
here.
they can do it, I can do it.
Saying what you just said. July the 7th. Hear me clearly, people. July the 7th. I don't know if you've seen the messages. I've been getting like one every day, it seems, as if somebody's 2 and 3. July the 7th. They're asking that we hold on. We hold that day. We don't spend no money. If you spend your money, in my personal opinion, if you spend your money, spend it with a black business, but hold your dollars and cents. Hold it for that one day and see what type of effect that we can make together. If you talking about you don't want to step out and be in the front lines, if you don't want to hold your dollars. July the 7th.
We don't realize our spending power.
Oh man, come on now.
In our spending, we don't
Look.
realize how. Why do you think everybody flocked to our neighborhoods when they got goods to sell? We buy any damn thing. We spend money on anything.
Hey, let's keep it real. Even when we go to these grand sessions, we got 100 rooms over here, and we got 100 rooms over there. We got 50 rooms. Look, when we live at a hotel, you live in a hotel thousands of dollars. Look, I've gone to sessions. $100 for me alone for being there for a whole week. Now you talk about the other 300 people that's probably there. Look, we've gone to these sessions and we've left the hotels nothing but money. So we know that we got spending power. Let's see how we're able to affect that. We know that. Oh, one more thing before I forget, bro. I want to send a big shout out to Deputy Grand Master out there in New Jerusalem Grand Lodge in Chicago. He just let me know, Brother Hawkins, we hear you loud and clear. We got you. This is something they're going to do. So just to let you know, Brother Carlos, what's going on, brother? I appreciate you tuning in tonight, and thank you very much. And to those who made a contribution tonight, and I didn't get your name, I didn't see it, Traveling Light, I think that was you also. I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate that. Let me see. And the things that, the donations that you dropped off tonight.
I want to say this, and this is just how that I am. You know what I mean? You know me. You've been knowing me for a minute. I'm straight down the middle person. Now, I want to say this. Grandmaster out of Alabama, in Alabama, Corey Hawkins.
Yeah.
That Grandmaster, I've seen that letter.
I talked about it. Go ahead. I spoke on it. You can speak on it again. I spoke on it. Go ahead.
Even though I have a few questions about it, I'll push them to the side. But if he wrote that letter, I applaud you, brother. Well, sir, I applaud you. And we need more of that. We need more of that.
But I said this here. I like the letter. I said that myself. But the letter don't have a signature or a seal. JoJo could have wrote the letter.
That's why I kicked that to the side.
So
that's why I said I kicked it to the side, because that was one of the things that I said this morning on a post. Well, why doesn't it have a Grand Lodge seal on it, and why doesn't it have a signature on it? It hasn't been attested by the Grand Secretary, but I'll kick that to the side. If he wrote that letter, I applaud him for it. You know what I mean? I applaud him for it. Even though there's some questions, but I'll kick those questions to the side, because it took courage. It took courage and resolve to write those words. If he wrote them, I applaud him.
Hey, I agree. I do agree 100% on that. And we need more grandmasters like that. We need more grandmasters like yourself, like me, like Deputy Grandmaster Carlos out of New Jerusalem Grand Lodge, like Grandmaster Bowtie out of Florida. That's what I call him. I call Anthony. I call him Bowtie. We need grandmasters who don't mind. If you're a Freemason, your grandmaster is your leader in your jurisdiction, right? He needs to be speaking out, especially in this time. This issue right here, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. We need to pull our resources together and do what we look. is not a rocket science. We already know what to do. The question remains is why we're afraid. Why we're afraid.
That's the point, bro. That's the point. The point is, we and this goes back to earlier, earlier on in life. Many of us will get into altercations and we'll fight each other
To death.
I've been in situations where, man, it was 10 of my boys and 10 of his boys, and we have a parking lot battle. One cop shows up, and all of us break. All of us break. Now there's 20 of us. If you do the math, there's 20 of us. One cop, 20 of us. That one cop can come through the whole bar and shut the whole bar down by himself. We terrified. Some of us are terrified of police officers. Even before the shooting stuff, because, I don't want to go to jail. But you will hurt me.
And go to jail. Yes, I will hurt you and go to jail.
I ain't gonna tell nothing on you. I'm gonna deal with you. I'm gonna deal with you when I deal with you.
But check this out.
Who assaulted you? I don't know who it was. All I know is I was walking out of here and got cracked upside the head with something. Oh, but I know who it was. I got you. I see you again. But outside of that, that's just how we are so willing to do harm to one another, but we are allowing our oppressors to put his knee on our neck and stand there. And when this brother lost his life, why was nobody hit the balls enough if they saw what was going on and they recognized what was going on to run over there and knock that man off of that man, if it was only for a split second for him to breathe?
Well, okay. So I'm going to answer that question for you. Why? The reason being is because we can sit and judge what they didn't do. We can do that because we're not there. I believe that I must put myself in that person's position who's watching this happen. And then I have to kind of like, what would I do? What I may do is not necessarily how that person may react. People mourn differently. So I can't. I can't do that to that person. I can't. Maybe you can, but I can't.
Out of all those people that was there. Now I'm just gonna put a scenario out there. If it was you or I that was there, and we are in the medical field, and you recognize what was happening, what would you have done? You would have done the same thing that I would have done. I would have took that charge because I would have believed in my heart that I just saved that man's life. Now maybe I would have put myself in the line of fire for doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but at least you can live the fight. If they don't pull the guns and shoot you, you can live to fight the charge.
Oh yeah, and if I have to go down, I have to go down. But in my heart, I would know that I've done the right thing. Being in the medical field and recognizing what I was seeing, it's a hard thing to say about the next man, what you just said, and I agree with you on that. But the thing is the balls. A lot of us don't have the nuts or Minister Farrakhan, testicular fortitude.
I'm going to answer this guy's question. I'm going to answer this question. The gentleman asked me, he says, was it Masonic at the church? Please comment. What happened at the church was Masonic. That's all I'm going to say.
What church?
Well, before you came on, I was saying that some of my brothers, we had a meeting and we had a discussion about some things. And I'm not going to discuss what we discussed, but I can say that we had the meeting and we had some discussions. you know, and and it continued even afterwards. You know how meetings get over and you still have discussions, working out some details or whatever you're gonna work out. But yeah, it was Masonic, in my opinion. In my opinion. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
this is another thing that I don't get, man.
That was
You know,
Dexter
I'm
Rochelle.
speaking for myself. I'm speaking for myself. And another thing that I don't get is why do we always have to equate everything to masonry?
That's what one brother was saying in regards to why am I including masonry in this. And I told him the reason why I was including masonry in this conversation, asking in regards about the real masons, is because when you look around at the various stages in American histories, those individuals who were the leaders in these different movements, whatever they may have been, most of them were masons. So, or working from behind, but you need to be involved. So where are the real masons at? I mean, we have what you
I would
call.
ask this. This is what I would ask. This is the way I would ask that.
Go ahead.
My question would be to those that claim to be students of masonry, those who claim to be students of masonry, no matter what jurisdiction you come from, no matter what umbrella you fly up under, or what umbrella you sit up under. My question to you is, are you willing to put yourself in harm's way to protect another man that looks like you, another child that looks like you?
Doesn't that sound like, hey, didn't Christ say something in regards to dying for his fellow man or something like, I gotta go back. I'm gonna find that scripture tonight too. I'm gonna find it and post it. I'm gonna find that scripture.
You know what? That's something that you see on. That's something that you hear in the craft in a certain area in the craft. It says something about no greater love than no greater love than thousand this than a brother to give his life for another.
There you go. There you go. There you go. Right there. There you go. Right there. Oh, speaking on that degree, it's there in the Knights Templars degree. I said it. It's in the Knights Templars. It's in there.
You know, and that's another thing that we got to understand too, because that on that five, you know what I mean, on that fifth point.
Right.
There's two things that happen. When I do that, when I greet you on that fifth point, and those who know it know what I'm talking about. Or when I embrace you on that, am I not looking at your back saying what's behind you? Or are you not doing the same for me?
Absolutely. You should. You should. Absolutely. It is not rocket science. It's not rocket science. And I'm going to say this. I'm not waiting on another Martin Luther King. I'm not waiting on another Malcolm X. I'm not waiting. I don't know what some of you think. We need a national leader. I'm going to say it again. Look in the mirror. Stop. They dead. They ain't coming back. Okay? They gone. That's it. It's over. Malcolm, Elijah Muhammad, they gone. Them guys gone. Noble Drew Ali, they gone. Okay? We can talk about them all day long, about how great they were when they was here, but they're gone now. What are we gonna do?
They left a blueprint, but they left a blueprint for us to follow, and we still ain't following it.
Hey, Elijah Muhammad already told you, you better leave him alone. It's time to do your own thing. He already told you that. Your own land. Do you?
And I remember reading something somewhere, I think it was in the Bible somewhere, it says, if you was among the heathens, you could live among the heathens, but adopt none of their ways.
Well, I'm telling you now, some of us have done just that. Lived among the heathens, and not only have we collected their ways, it's just what it is. We've done that thing. The answer to our problem It's us. And we know that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But we also gotta address the fact. And we're gonna be honest about it. We gotta also address the fact that the same way that we complain about others doing things to us, we gotta address the fact first and foremost that we do worse to each other.
Well, I can tell you this. Hurt people hurt people. A lot of us is hurting. If I had a nice home,
Yeah, hurt people.
well, I'm gonna give you the answer. If I was living in a black community, all black community, and all of us had nice homes, decent jobs, we wouldn't be robbing and trying to kill nobody. So the answer to our problems is employment. The answer to our problem is to have some money in your pocket to live a decent life. The answer to our problem is really to get away from them others and do us.
I'm gonna tell you like you just said to me. I'm gonna agree to disagree in that, cause not with everything that you just said, but because a man has money, that don't mean that a man won't be continuing criminal.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. If I'm living decent, I'm speaking for me. If I'm living a decent life and I have a little something about myself, and you got a nice home, I'm trying to take nothing from you. But if I have an offer and you see me struggling, pretty soon I'm gonna go take some of that. You see me struggling, and you know I'm trying, but you ain't gave me a hand up. I'm not asking for a handout. I'm saying a hand up. Of course I'm going to strike. And if you're living in these ghettos, I'm talking about true ghettos. San Diego don't have a true ghetto. Let me just tell everybody that right now. San Diego, California does not have a true ghetto. I'm talking about if you're somewhere like in Baltimore. I've been to Baltimore and I've seen it with my own eyes. There's some places that you don't want to walk in Baltimore. There's some places you don't want to walk in Chicago, like in Inglewood. There's just some places you don't want to walk in. I'm talking about them type of ghettos, okay? Where the police really don't want to drive. Do this. You're going to hurt the very person that look like you. It's what it is. But if you don't live in those places and you have a decent life, and you're doing okay, you ain't looking to hurt nobody. Even if you're a career criminal and you're selling a pound of coke or whatever, you ain't trying to live amongst them. It is what it is. What we need is solutions, and we've talked about some of them. Go ahead.
These are the type of conversations, brother, that need to happen. It need to happen. We need to put some cold, hard facts out here.
I need to talk to real Masons, though. See, when you have a conversation like this, I need to talk to some real Masons. I'm talking Masons who decide their differences and come to men who proclaim to be Freemasons. I'm talking about real men who say that they're Christians. I'm talking about real men who say that they're Muslims. I'm talking about some real men. I'm not talking about somebody whose balls are so drawn to our problems. But we have to be willing on this solution is going to take for a national leader and common sense. Just saying. Go ahead, Brother Debo.
This is a lot of things. There's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of things coming our way. And I just had this conversation with my wife the other night. Look, I know it's been a while, but I've taught and have put my wife and my kid through some training for some certain things.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell my wife that my wife doesn't like guns. You know what I mean? She don't like guns. But it's a necessity. It's a must that you learn how to shoot.
Thanks to themselves.
That's what she's going through. She's actually putting them through the safety class and it's a gun range not far from where I live at.
Right.
You know, but I want her to learn. You know what I mean? She knows, but she just got to get over her phobia of firearms. You know, I'm not sure if it's the sound that bothers her
Well, when I have a few buddies who are police officers, and they told me, Hawkins, the best thing you can do when you get pulled over is to get home. You never argue with a man with a gun. Don't do that. Just get home to your family. File your complaint the next day. And that's the best advice I can tell my brothers. That's the best advice I can tell my sisters. Don't argue with anybody that has a gun. Get home, file your complaint the next day. Yeah, they pull you over. Yeah, you pissed, but you need to get home. All right? And before I go tonight, go ahead. What you was going to say, Brother Debo?
Whatever, I'm saying, whatever the hell they say, where you got to go to. So you can make it home. Now, it doesn't make much sense for me to argue with a police officer on the side of a road with no traffic, nobody's around. He can do anything he wants to do to me, or I can protect myself however I can. But at the end of the day, however the ball bounces and however it goes down, when it comes down to it, they're going to believe what he says. They're going to believe everything that he says. I can't.
Well, I'm going to share this with you before I get ready to go. Your rights. I'm sharing your rights as a resident. When a police officer requires you to advance, to advise me on my rights, remember, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be held against you. The police can lie. So you have a right to shut up. You ain't got to say not one word. It's your rights, okay? Now, I'm reading this. This is what I'm reading from, so you can see this.
I understand that.
All right? No, but some brothers don't understand it, and some sisters don't. So,
you're being placed under arrest.
I'm just saying.
Random.
It is part of your memorandum, but even before you're placed under arrest, you still got a right to just shut up.
Yeah, that's your Fifth Amendment.
Okay. With that being said, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead. If an officer stops you and detains you, do I have a right to walk away? All right? Do I have a right to walk away when an officer stops me? I'm going to read this to you. The officer cannot legally detain you unless he or she has a reason to believe you have been involved in a crime.
A crime has been committed.
Correct. Ask the officer if you're under arrest.
Am I being arrested?
Ask the officer, and if the officer answers no, you have to answer. Yeah, you can. Yeah, can I leave? All right. No again. If you ask again, he says no. You know this is an officer detaining you. If the officer said you can't leave, that you are being detained. Absolutely. Search warrant. The officer can only go into your pockets after they're placing a suspect under arrest, or with the permission, or when a weapon is felt during some states. They
it was the wrong house. They kicked his door in. He was laying on his couch, sleeping. They kicked his door in. When he jumped up off of the couch, he shot him.
Wow.
Busted his chest.
Wow.
For no reason. They was in the wrong damn house. This is the stuff that they do. You know, and we're like, look at these laws that they're putting in place, and look who they're directed at.
The next one. Can an officer order me to get out of my car during a traffic stop? The answer is yes. The law does allow the officer, for his or her own safety, and they would tell you that, to order someone to stay in or exit the vehicles during a traffic stop. Okay? They can do that. Next, am I required to carry identification with me? The answer is no. Carrying identification, except when driving, is not mandatory in the United States. However, In some cases, it may become necessary that the police officer verify your identity. That's just a tad bit of things I just want to share with everybody tonight because I want you to be safe. Okay? I want you to get home. I want you to be with your family. I want you to be able to protect your family. And I would like that us, real Masons, continue to have a real conversation about our community and how we can effectively come together to do something about the situation at hand. Brother Debo, what you got to say before I log off?
We have to learn and understand the private sector from the public sector. We have to understand that there is no police officers protect and serve. But you see that on the side of their vehicles, protect and serve. But the question is, protect what and serve who? You understand? You got to learn these things, and you have to know that it's not about you. They are code enforcers. You don't break a law, you break a code. Every state has codes, annotated codes. You don't break a law because the law is just a code.
Hey, there you go. So with that being said, I hope that you're able to get something out of this show tonight. And if you know me and you want to reach out and have another conversation, let's do that. Let's do what we're supposed to do. As men, as Freemasons, let's do what we're supposed to do. Let's stop waiting on another Martin. Let's stop waiting on another Malcolm. Let's
everybody out there. I challenge everybody out there that's listening. I don't care what your jurisdiction is. In fact, it's not even got anything to do with your jurisdiction. I challenge every one of you out there that's listening. We can set up a roundtable discussion where we don't have to discuss Masonry. We can discuss what's going on in the world today, the topics, positive solution that'll work for each one of us. I challenge you, anyone. You can hit me on Facebook, you can message me. I challenge you, let's have a Zoom conference.
I was just going to say that. I was just going to say that.
And leave Masonry out of it. We need to open a dialogue where we can learn to trust one another, learn to talk to one another. We don't know what that type of relationship may go to. We don't know what it may build.
And you know what? I'm glad you said that. Why don't we do a Zoom next time? I don't know what your schedule is, but I believe that we can get up to like 8 people on Zoom. Why don't we do that? I would like.
I actually have the Zoom account, so I think I can get up to 100 people.
That be the case. Why don't we set up a Zoom? And I'll make the announcement on this channel. And anybody who wants to join in, they're welcome to join in. It's not about your jurisdiction. It's bigger than that. So why don't we work on establishing a Zoom to where we get this information out to our brothers and our sisters. Let's not leave our sisters out. Okay? Because let the truth be told, if not for the sisters, a lot of our jurisdictions wouldn't survive. Hint, hint. I'm just going to leave it right there. So next time we come on, I hope to have a very special guest. I ain't going to call no names. I'm going to leave it like that. And we're going to have this conversation. We're going to continue to talk about these issues that face this community because nobody else wants to talk about it. Nobody else really want to have good solutions for it. And we know that we have the resources to do it. We have to pull together. So whatever you do, wherever you at, come out of those bushes. Come out of the bushes and keep your light on. I'm out. Thank you, Brother Taylor. I appreciate you.
No problem, bro.
Hey, man, you be safe going home tonight.